The first step is to get your dog attention. So we will have one hand with full of treats and we will use the other hand to ask for the attention. This is actually the most important thing when you want to teach dog anything. See, she's not looking at me. Sushi! Sushi, come here. Get up, get up, get up. Okay, now she has her attention. So step 2 is to teach them to move their limbs. You want them to move their limb first, then they will be able to give you a paw. In order to do that, we will have handful of treats in one of your hands and use the other hand to ask for a paw. They will not be able to move it at first, but eventually they will, okay? So we can see I have one hand with full of treats and ask for a paw in the other hand. See, good, good girl. If she could give me a paw, then I reward her. Please remember that some of the dog might not be able to do it at the first time. So what you could do is to tickle their limbs, okay? Any movement is good. You just tickle their limbs so they feel ticklish and they're gonna move their limb. And then you give them a treat. It doesn't need to be a paw at the first. They just need to move their limb. Any limb movement, yeah, is good. And you give them a treat. So once your dog has been able to move their limbs, you bring it up to the next level. Still with a handful of treats, you show them and you ask for a paw. Good girl! If they only move their limb is too low, and if their paw hasn't touched your hand yet, you just don't give a treat so that they would not feel confused, you know? So they would know that, okay, the paw is when their paw has to touch your hand. Okay, good girl. But now let's do it. Okay, paw. Good girl. And now it is the time when you would only give them a treat when they are success at giving you a paw. Good girl. Okay, so now when your dog is already able to give you their paw, you're gonna integrate the hand and the verbal command into the trick. So for us, I show my hand like this and I say paw, and she will know. Sushi, she sees the treat. Paw. Good girl. You're so smart. Okay. Again, okay? Sushi, paw. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, so now Sushi wouldn't even need any treat to do it. You could see, okay? Sushi, paw. Good girl. Sushi, good girl. Sushi, paw. Good girl. You are so smart. So smart. At this point, if some of your dogs still not very good at giving their paw automatically, you could just tickle them again, okay? Now they are used to the verbal command and the hand command. You just tickle them to let them know that, okay, I have to give it. And please reward them after they are successful at doing it. So now if you want to switch from a low five to a high five, what we do is just basically the same thing. Just follow all the steps in the previous trick, but only that you move your hand higher. And you move the hand with treat also higher. Sushi, high five. Good girl. So you see, I basically do the same thing. I have one hand full of treats. I show it to her to get attention from her. I use the verbal and the hand command in the other hand, but only in this time, I would have to move the handful of treats higher. So she would look upward and she would try to reach it. And that is how you do a high five. Let's do it again. Sushi, high five. Good girl. She even does two hands. She even does two hands. Okay, Sushi. This hand, okay? Sushi. Good girl. Good girl.
And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. See you in our next video. Bye.